What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the second season of the Nuttcast, hosted by me, of course, Colonel Panic, or Panic for short, your humble servant. Except not really welcome back to the second season, because it's not started yet. This is kind of a short thing to inform the few of you who care about the schedule of this season, because I will not be doing a weekly pod, but instead, I think it's going to be an episode every three weeks. And the reason is, the show I'll be focusing on for this season is Nande Koko ni Sensei ga, or What Are You Doing Here, Teacher? An amazing show. I've seen the first episode. I could talk about it, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna save it. But it is... The premise is very simple, and the episodes are only 10 minutes long. So I don't think it can carry a weekly format. Instead, what I predict is from the promo art, there's gotta be 4 teachers. Wait, oh my god, am I gonna have to explain the premise of it first? It's a show about teachers and the students winding up in compromising positions and eventually falling in love. And there's 4 teachers in the promo art. So my prediction is gonna be that every teacher gets 3 episodes. Like they're gonna resolve each arc in 3 episodes, is what I think. So instead of doing 12 really short and potentially boring episodes, I'm gonna try and do 1 pod per arc. So every teacher gets their own episode. There's a number of reasons for that. First of all, as I said, I don't think the show can carry 12. I don't think it's going to be funny for 12 episodes, because not a whole lot happens every episode. It would be really stretching it to talk that much about it. Second of all, it saves me a lot of time. I will only have to edit 4 episodes, and I will only have to gather 4 guests. This is like, it's nothing but bonuses here. I should also address, like, this is very much the same reason I skipped doing a show last season, because, like, the obvious show for last season for winter, is that winter? Last season, winter 2019, I guess. The obvious show for that season would have been Domestic Girlfriend, of course. But I had read some of the manga, like, until maybe what they covered up till episode 6, and I honestly thought it was kind of boring. Now, of course, it got good after that point, but I didn't know that. And it's hard to judge this stuff. It's hard to predict. And I didn't want to risk it. So yeah, I skipped doing one on Domestic. I might have to do like a retrospect on Domestic at some point, because I ended up really liking it. And I know several other people did too. These things are hard to predict, man. Conception was very special. That was a show where I wasn't afraid to go all in from the very beginning. Like, based on absolute... Like, all I knew was that it was a lewd game. But it would turn out to be the perfect, like, shitstorm amalgamation of tired anime tropes and isekai and harem and poor production and attention, I guess, because people were very aware of it. Now, Nande Koko, as I understand it, I think it's a little bit obscure. A couple people will... Like, it's fairly popular on Mal for this season. The thing is, like, it's one above Carol and Tuesday. Carol and Tuesday? Carol? I don't know. I'm guessing that name is kind of a pun on a carol. Christmas Carol. Whatever. So, and I think a lot of people will be watching it for, well, obviously for the tiddies. But I really like the manga, and I think it'll be fun to talk about. even though it's only going to be 4 episodes. But like I said, it's a work smarter, not harder kind of proposition. I wanna make 4. I'm confident I can make 4 good episodes. I'm not confident I can make 12. So that's what I'm going with. Like in short. And speaking of shorts, can I just, oh my god, should mention this season is fucking stacked for shorts. And not just lewd short, like there's many lewd shorts, but one of the most prominent shows this season is a short. It's called Isekai Quartet, and it's fun. It's one of the most talked about ones on Reddit. I think next to One Punch Man season 2, it's probably gonna be one of the most viewed and commented and like prominent Reddit shows. And it might even overtake One Punch Man at some point, because I don't think a lot of people are going to stick around for that. People are very upset with the quality, like as far as I can tell. But besides Isekai Quartet, which is of course popular because it blends 3 incredibly popular franchises, and then also Yojo Senki, which I liked a lot, but it was not as popular as like the other 3, which Konosuba and ReZero and Overlord. But besides that show, we have a show about, it's gonna be later, I think it might only be a couple episodes, but it's a show about tights, girls wearing tights, which looks lit. There's a show about a girl with thick thighs, which is honestly shit, but it's fun, and they don't talk in it at all. There's this about teachers. There's one called Nobunaga, which is like a time-traveling, old world Japanese lolly wife kind of thing, which also looks like it's gonna be a little bit shit. There's also a short about a guy who, one of his 1 to 6 inch scale, not inch, 1 to 6 scale figures has come alive. Doesn't look, I mean, so far it seems okay, like a solid 4 or 5. And then there's gonna be one about like a guy giving massages in a hot, like in a, not a hot spring, but like in a bathhouse. It's like, Jesus Christ. There's so many. It's gonna be great. When I was on the 2018 in retrospect episode of the Our Anime podcast, I remember bringing up that summer what was pretty crazy for shorts, and it was back then. Those 3, it was like, there was the Joshiochi, whatever it's called, one where a girl falls through her roof, her floor, onto a guy's dick, and they fuck. And there was the one where it's like a first-person perspective of a guy begging to see girls' panties. Please show me your panties and make a disgusted face, which was also great. And then, of course, there was One Room, second season of One Room, which isn't exactly a porn show, but it's certainly a fetish show in its own way. It's this weird voyeuristic thing where you get to pretend that you have a girlfriend. And I honestly think maybe 1% of the viewers watch it for that reason, like because they're lonely. The rest of us watch it because it's honestly fascinating. Like, we get to watch it and go, this was made for somebody. That's crazy. And there's kind of the same thing happening at the end of this other new show. The one with the 800-year-old lolly fox wife. Tenko, the meddlesome fox god, or whatever it's called. Where after the credits, there's like a minute and a half of something similar where it's first-person perspective and she talks to you. And it's like after, I think that's so fascinating. It's fucking nuts. Anyway, So that's all I wanted to say. In short, it's going to be 4 episodes, one for every arc. At least that's the plan right now, and unless they kind of mess with the what would you call it? Chronology? With the timeline of the series, in which case I'm going to have to scramble and figure out something new. But the plan right now is to get some guests and do 4 episodes, and the first is going to be in 2 weeks. I'm guessing, I have 2 in mind already, 2 guests. And if they haven't read the manga, we're just going to talk about how great the current teacher is and why they're the best. If it's someone who has read the manga, we're going to do that still, but we're ultimately going to devolve into talking about the most recent one, Tachibana, the short hair, like the bob cut, white hair doctor teacher, because, well, she's the best. She is best girl. She's already won, and I'm excited to get to her, but if my prediction holds true, that won't be for like, what would that be? 1, 2, it'll be like 8 weeks. Jesus Christ. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. This was kind of like a preliminary episode. It turned out to be kind of a seasonal preview for shorts. But you know what? I will be back here for episode 1 of season 2 of the Nuttcast in 2 weeks. I'll try and get a guest. Like I said, I already have a couple potential guests in mind, but if you'd like to guest, go ahead and hit me up on the Discord, which I will link below. I will also link the Discord for the Our Anime podcast, as that is where we all hang out anyway. Like every past guest and everyone on the Nuttcast Discord, we are on there all the time. So go listen to them and come chat in that Discord, because this is pretty much, I would say this is a wholly unauthorized subsidiary community podcast of that podcast. It's all the same people. So yeah, anyway, 2 weeks, and I'll see you then. Thanks for listening.